Okay. Shana Tova. Rosh Hashanah 5782 is different. Worldwide COVID creates a sparser physical sanctuary and extends the concept of sanctuary into many homes throughout our community. Recent events and the absence of our beloved Rabbi Teller, who has so deeply touched so many of our lives, creates a sense of further loss and dislocation. Yet here we sit, here we stand this Erev Rosh Hashanah before God, embraced by a feeling of kehillah, of community, loving and caring. Rosh Hashanah 5782 is different. Chazan Krohn remains a fixture on our bima with his beautiful voice and his passionate heart. He is the constant. I've no doubt over the next week as we come together in prayer, there will be some interesting moments where things may seem a little bit less organized than normal. And when those moments occur, that's on me. I'm the rookie. And so at such moments in advance, I say to you in advance, Al chet shechatati. Chazan, I give you full permission to turn and to stop and say, Cantor Levine, perhaps you forgot Kol Nidre? And to our community, your role at those moments will be to share a knowing smile, a smile of family, sharing a novel experience together. Let us grow together. Let us continue to build community and family, and may we emerge together cleansed, purified, and changed for the better. The year gone by has faded with the sunset as we move always forward into life. This day, bordering on past and future, summons us to this service. It summons us to account for the gift of life. This sacred day, we join in our sanctuary and in our homes as a congregation with repentance on our tongues and resolve in our hearts. We seek forgiveness from ourselves, from others, and from God. Wholeness and holiness we seek as we enter a new year by performing its first mitzvah, the lighting of candles. We invite Melissa Magenheim, our executive director, who keeps us going with her constant smile and her persistence and her energy, to come forward and to light the candles as we begin Yontif together. Shehigianu Lazman Hazeh.
Amen.
Amen. You may be seated. We turn to our Machzurim. We begin our prayer, page 5. Actually, we rise. Now you may be seated.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה אדוני צבאות שמו אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב הרבים אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגה יומם ולילה ובהם נגה יומם ולילה ובהם נגה יומם ולילה יומם ולילה ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
We continue silently on page 7.
Adonai Elohechem emet.
Emet be'emunah kol zov v'kayam aleinu ki hu Adonai Eloheinu v'yin lo tabanu b'zion. Continue in the middle of page 8.
ומלכותו ורצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ובני ישראל לכענו שירה בשמחה רבה ויאמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נהדר בקודש מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע ים לפני משה זה לי אנו ויאמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגואלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני
וברוך שמו
גואל ישראל.
Amen. We turn to page 9 at the top of the page in the English and we read responsively.
Allow us, Adonai our God, to sleep peacefully and awaken again to life our sovereign.
Spread over us your canopy of peace. Restore us with your good counsel and save us for the sake of your name.
Shield us, remove from us enemies and pestilence, sword, starvation, and sorrow, and remove the evil forces that surround us.
Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you, God, watch over us and deliver us, and you are the sovereign, merciful, and compassionate.
Ensure our going and coming for life and peace, now and forever.
May you spread over us your canopy of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us and over all the people Israel and over Jerusalem. Hashkivenu.
Shalom ve'am yedeinu malkeinu lechaim ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha ve'takneinu be'etza tova milfanecha ve'hoshienu leman shemecha ve'hagein והגן בעדינו וחזר מעלינו אויב דבר וחרב ורב וחזר שטן מלפנינו ומאחרינו מלפנינו ומאחרינו כי אל שומרנו מצילנו כי אל שומרנו מצילנו שמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ברוך אתה אדוני.
ברוך הוא ברוך שמו.
הבורא סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
Amen. On Shabbat, there are verses here that declare the holiness of the day. On Yom Kippur, instead, we turn to page 10 and we have a verse out of the Bible, Tika'u v'chodesh shofar, which announces the holiness of the special moment we find ourselves in. We ask you to please rise.
Tika'u v'chodesh shofar b'kesel yom chageinu. חוק לישראל הוא משפט לאלוהי יעקב. יתגדל ויתקדש מרבה בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומייכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ימרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילא ולעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דבר אירן בעלמה, אמרו
The Amidah is the core of every prayer service. We introduce ourselves to God, reestablishing quietly our deep relationship, one that extends from our past to our future. The words of the Amidah silently, pages 11 through page 16. we invite you to finish your private prayers. May it be God's will that we be given a world of great peace. Words of Shalom Rav, page 16.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם, תשים לעולם.
Again, Shana Tova. May the coming year be filled with good health, with happiness, with love and hugs of family and friends, with growth, with fulfillment. May we be blessed with a post-COVID return to normalcy, as well as a society less polarized and more willing to respectfully talk with one another and learn compromise. Tonight, as we sit here in our sanctuary or we watch from the safety of our homes, as we contemplate the last year of our lives, as we process our successes and our failures, and think about personal growth and change, I would like to focus on a critical message, a critical goal for this coming year. I believe that our mandate for 5782 should be a mensch. I'd like to share with you some strategies, stories, and examples of those who have devoted time to thinking about what it means to be a mensch. Tales of those who, by their very example, what we call in Hebrew dugma'ot, have taught us a lesson of what it truly means to be a mensch. Rabbi Joseph Telushkin. Telushkin opened one of his many books with the following. He says, if you ask people what they want most from others, they will usually answer something of the nature of good character. The knowledge that those with whom we interact are kind and honorable is the surest guarantee that we and our loved ones will be treated well. At the same time, if you ask most people what it is they want for themselves, you'll get an answer sounding like to be happy and successful. In short, Telushkin explains the reason that we want good character from others and happiness and success for ourselves is that in both cases we want what's best for us. But as Rabbi Telushkin reminds us, what people generally don't realize is that the achieving of the good things in life, such as happiness and success and loving and meaningful relationships, is dependent upon developing within ourselves what we want most from others, and that is good character. Often our very success in life is a result of our ability to develop good character traits. In his book, The 10 Commandments of Character, Telushkin lists 10 prerequisites for being a person of good character. They are as follows. Know your weaknesses. When ethics and other values conflict, choose ethics. Treat all people with kindness and understanding, and remember that they, like you, are created in the image of God. Be fair, be courageous, be honest, be grateful, practice self-control, exercise common sense, and finally, admit when you have done something wrong, seek forgiveness, and don't attempt to rationalize bad behavior. What Rabbi Telushkin calls good character is known in Hebrew as derech eretz, the right way to live life. And in Yiddish, we simply say, be a mensch. Perhaps you've heard of the marshmallow test. This is a study of 4-year-olds at Stanford University. Children in the university's preschool were brought into a room one at a time, and laid before them on a table was a single marshmallow. And they were told, you can have this marshmallow, you can have it now if you want. But if you don't eat it until I return to the room, I will give you 2 marshmallows. Numerous fascinating long-term correlations were explored and observed. The study revealed that 14 years later, when these students were graduating high school, the children who had eaten the marshmallow right away were less able to resist temptation, less able to achieve their goals, and more likely to fall apart under stress. 14 years later. Good character requires the gift of being able to cultivate gratitude, the tenacity to be persistent and patient, the ability to exhibit self-control and discipline in our lives, and the vision to develop courage and self-confidence. When Rosa Parks was interviewed many years ago, she said, I had no idea when I refused to give up my seat on the Montgomery bus that my small action would help put an end to segregation in the South. I only knew that I was tired of being pushed around. I was a regular person as good as anyone else. Rosa Parks' act not only transformed America for the better, but it also confirmed for her that she was a person of value as good as anyone else. Having good character, the ability to stand up against evil and to do what is right, turns out to be one of the great values that we can maintain in our lives. I realize if you want to write a bestseller, this is probably not the best topic. You might want to write a book and call it How to Lose Weight While Eating Ice Cream. How to look younger every day as you grow older. How to be a genius without even opening a book. We're not going to produce a bestseller by penning a book titled Being a Mensch. But that's exactly what we, those of us who are here tonight, need to do. For it is at this time of year that we are being written into a book, the Sefer HaChaim, the Book of Life. In a sense, our tradition portrays that each Rosh Hashanah, we are starting a new chapter in our lives. And so, as we contemplate what the next chapter will include, as we think about how we are going to fill those blank pages with our examples of our good deeds and our values and our acts of kindness and caring, what better subject for us to think about other than be a mensch? A key ingredient can be found in one of the first pages. If you open a Siddur or a Machzor, you'll find the following text. Le'olam yehei adam yarei shamayim b'seter uv'golui. We should always revere God both in public as well as in private. Le'olam yehei adam really means always be a mensch. How? By showing character not only when you're in a public setting, but in private moments as well, by making your word your bond and your life a sacred trust, by always being honest with yourself and thereby giving expression to the best within you. A key ingredient in this process is consistency, that you know a person is a mensch if he remains a mensch in all circumstances and can be relied upon to do the right in all situations. It's not acceptable to be sweet with your friends and loving and caring, and then to turn around and respond to the clerk in the store when you've been wronged with a sense of anger. That's not acceptable. It is not acceptable to repeatedly respond to people with anger and then to repeatedly ask for forgiveness. That's not Menschlichkeit. Some of you may recall the name Rabbi Leo Beck. There's a rabbinical school in London and a Reformed day school in Haifa that bears his name. Leo Beck was a distinguished Reform rabbi in Berlin before the Holocaust. In 1938, when he was almost 70 years old, he was offered the pulpit of the largest synagogue in Cincinnati, Ohio. But he knew what was coming in Europe, and he refused to leave his congregation and his community. And sure enough, he was arrested and sent to Theresienstadt. By day, he had to drag a garbage cart through the streets. But at night, he gave illegal lectures on Jewish philosophy, Jewish history, Jewish literature. He even wrote what ultimately became a significant book on scraps of paper when he could steal just a couple minutes. On one of those scraps of paper, he wrote, "A mensch remains a mensch even in Theresienstadt." The next time you feel the impulse to judge the work of another, to criticize, or to express anger because you believe you've been wronged, remember, a mensch remains a mensch, even in Theresienstadt. Many years ago, there was a brilliant man by the name of Robert Kirsch. Kirsch was a book critic for the Los Angeles Times. He summed up his values in life with these words. He said, live, read, grow, and be a mensch. Let me do a little drashing. Let me interpret a little bit for you here. Live. Try to live each day fully and enjoy it as a gift and give thanks for the blessings we tend to miss. Read. Read through biographies, history books. Through those people, we gain insights and share the lives of the greatest minds that have ever lived. Even through fiction, we can explore the lives of people who may not have existed, but from whom we can still learn the values and morals of life. And grow. Never stop growing as a person. Never become satisfied with what you have achieved until now. Let your mind keep growing and stretching with new ideas and new insights, and let your heart keep growing with greater understanding and sensitivity towards others. Just to bring us into the modern world at its best, a recent blogger offered the following about being a mensch. He said, help people who cannot help you. Help without the expectation of a return favor. Help many people. Do the right thing the right way. And remember, we all owe something to our society. Let me summarize a little bit for you. From Rabbi Telushkin, we have learned about the importance of character and how to incorporate his 10 commandments of character. From the marshmallow study, we've learned about controlling our urges and our temptations and following a course of patience and perseverance. From Rosa Parks, we learned that to be a mensch means to be able to stand up for your beliefs. From Rabbi Leo Beck, we learn how to be a mensch even in the midst of the greatest of adversities. And from Robert Kirsch, we learn that to be a mensch means to live, to read, and to grow. And so as we begin the new year, 5782, as our world faces challenges that seem to be overwhelming, As our citizens and country continue to suffer with seemingly few solutions in sight that we can all embrace, let our agenda in 5782 be one that is reachable for each and every one of us. Be a mensch. May we, as the philosopher Martin Buber described, the essence of what it means to be a human being, may we be humanly holy. This year, let's be holy symbols. This year, let's be good Jews. This year, let's be mensches. Shana Tova. We turn back to our Machzorim, page 19, Kaddish Shalem.
יתגדל ויתקדש רבה ויעלמה דברי חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביום איכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן יהי שמי רב המבורך לעולם ולעלמי עולמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודש הבריחו לעילה לעילה מן כל ברכתה ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן ביעלמה ויאמרו אמן תתקבל צלותיהון ובאותיהון דכל ישראל קדם אבון די בשמיה ויאמרו אמן יהי שלום רב מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן עושה שלום במרומיו ויעשה שלום שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו amen.
Shkoch. We turn to page 24 and we rise for Kiddush.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר בחר בנו מכל העם ורוממנו מכל לשון וקידשנו במצוותיו ותיתן לנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה את יום הזיכרון הזה יום תרועה מקרא קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים ודברך אמת וקיים לעד ברוך אתה אדוני מלך על כל הארץ מקדש ישראל מלך על כל הארץ מקדש ישראל מלך על כל הארץ מקדש ישראל ויום הזיכרון ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Page 25.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו, וגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת, אין עוד. על כן נקבל לך ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. Those observing a yahrzeit, those in a period of mourning, words of mourners Kaddish can be found on page 26. We ask you to please rise. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shmei Rabbah, bi'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yumechon v'chayeh dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kari v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivorach li'alam elamei almaya. Yitbarak v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. You may be seated. One of the beautiful things about this congregation is that when presidents are finished their terms, they don't disappear. They continue on. It says that it really touched their souls, and clearly Rhoda is back, and she's our gabbai, and she's going to share a few announcements with us this evening, and we're so lucky to have her back, although we continue this COVID mode.
Thank you. Shana Tova, everyone. I am Rhoda Goldberg. I'm the immediate past president of the congregation, and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees. And it is just wonderful to be here, seeing people in the congregation, and sharing also our service on live stream. Thank you. I want to thank, of course, Cantor Levine, Chazan Krohn, and our accompanist, Charlie Tauber, for making our high holidays so meaningful this year and every year. Thank you so much. Also, so many people participated in making this high holidays happen. Our office staff, Larry Bradley, our facilities manager, who makes sure everything works in the building. Sherry Ann Darjean, our executive assistant to Rabbi Teller and Cantor Levine. Lori Jacobs, our administrative assistant. Erin Lepselter, our religious school principal. Barbara Lozer, who does our programming, and our media advisor, Karen Ross. And of course, none of this would have happened so beautifully without our executive director, Melissa Magenheim. Her talents and her energy make our synagogue so successful. And I want to thank our volunteer ushers who have working under Morris Narunsky. Thank you so much. And to Donnie Roisman, who is our Gazumbai today and is making our live stream possible. And finally, my thanks to all of you for being part of Brit Shalom. Tomorrow, morning services begin at 8:30, and our Torah service will begin about at 9:15. We are also having a family service and programming at 9:30 at the Nature Discovery Center, and tomorrow evening, the Prayer of the Heart service will be led by Janice Rubin at 8:15. There's more information online in the Brit Shalom emails that you've been getting. Again, it is my great privilege to wish you and your family, on behalf of the clergy, staff, and board, Shana Tova U'Metuka, and I must close with my recurring prayer that soon we will all be together in our sanctuary. Shana Tova, everyone.
Thank you, Rhoda. We turn back the 13 Principles of Maimonides, the Articles of Faith, Yigdal, on page 28.
Yigdal Elohim Chai v'yishtabach nimtza v'yenet el metziuto echad v'en yachid keyichudo ne'lam v'gam en sof l'achduto ein lo demut haguf v'eino guf lo na'aroch elav kedushato kadmon lechol davar asher nivra rishon v'ein reshit lereshito hino adon olam v'chol notzar yoreh gedulato u'malchuto shefa nevuato netarahen anshei segulato v'tifarto lo kam beYisrael kemosheto navi omabit et monato orat ben Natan le'amoel al yad neviato ne'evan beito lo yachalif ha'el ve'lo yamir dato לעולמים לזולתו צופה ויודע שתראינו מעביד סוף דבר בקדמתו גומל לאיש חסד כביפעלו נותן לרשע רע כרשעתו ישלח לקץ ימין משיחנו לפתות לך כקץ ישועתו מתים יחייל ברוב חסדו ברוך הדי עד שם תהילתו מתים יחייל ברוב חסדו ברוך הדי עד שם תהילתו.
Please rise. There is a world of difference between a holiday and a holy day. On holidays, we run from duties. On holy days, we face up to them. On holidays, we seek to let ourselves go. On holy days, we try to bring ourselves under control. On holidays, we try to empty our minds. On holy days, we attempt to replenish our spirits. On holidays, we reach out for the things that we want. On holy days, we reach up for the things that we need. Holidays bring a change of scene. Holy days bring a change of heart. We ask each of you to find someone in your row, in your homes, as we extend blessings one to the other with the words of Birkat Kohanim. Chasim.
Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
Ken Yireh Ratzon.
Ya'er Adonai panav lecha v'yichuneka.
Ken Yireh Ratzon.
Yisa Adonai panav lecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
Ken Yireh Ratzon.
L'shana
Shana
tova.
Tova.